So, my name is Melaine-Ann Atkins. Technically it's Dr. Melaine-Ann Atkins now, which is great. I was a grad student like 2 weeks ago, and now, so now I'm the wellness coordinator here at Western. I coordinate the Wellness Education Center, which some of you might have passed by or signed back there. But I'm going to start by telling you how successful I was as a graduate student within my 4 years. I finished on time. Thanks very much. Okay. So in my 4 short years, I was the Alberta O'Neill OGS Award winner. I was the first lead TA for the Faculty of Education. I worked for the Teaching Support Center. Nanda was my supervisor. I developed faculty curriculum for the Teaching Support Center. I developed curriculum for the Intercultural Communications program at Western. I developed a national mental health literacy program for teacher candidates. The list goes on. So you're wondering, why am I telling you all these amazing things about myself? Because it didn't start out this way, okay? I'm gonna go back because I really loved what Nanda had to say. And I just want to contrast what she said with what I actually did when I first got here. So what I didn't tell you about the first time when I told my story was that I actually started graduate studies here at Western in 2005. Right, so if you're counting, that was 11 years ago, okay? So, I came here, I was in a different program that shall remain nameless. So my PhD is in education right now. Back then, I was not in education. And so, I'm gonna tell you about all the things I did wrong, okay, when I got here. Because for me, what I was striving for was success, right? So I was gonna do everything right, and I was going to be successful, right? And wellness had no part in that. So let me tell you what I did. I did not ask any questions to clarify expectations with my supervisor. Why? Because I was scared of adults. And so, yeah, true. So I wasn't into that. And I know because I talk to her about that all the time. Same thing with everyone else who's my mentor here. I did not begin my dissertation or research early because I got into the program late. I got into the program in August and everyone had already been there and I had really no idea why I was there. I actually did this master's degree program because it sounded really hard and because I wasn't going to become a doctor and I was already disappointing my parents. So I picked a program that sort of sounded like it was like a doctor thing and I hoped that would work for me. It did. Okay. I did not remain with my original topic or supervisor. I actually ended up switching twice. I switched when I dropped out of my program in my master's. I also switched my topic and my supervisor in my first year of my PhD. I did not meet frequently with my supervisor. I actually did disappear for a month. That's because I was dealing with depression and I had no idea how to deal with that because that wasn't part of my striving plan. And so I was dealing with a lot of stigma for myself and thinking, how can I be a graduate student, never mind successful, but at the very same time dealing with depression? I did not collaborate with my faculty on conference papers whatsoever because I really didn't like writing, so I wasn't really into that whole thing. You see where this is going. I had no mentors, right, because I was scared of adults, I told you that before. So I didn't actually reach out and make any friends, never mind mentors. But when I came into my PhD, in the last PhD, the education one that I actually completed, that one I thought, okay, this is the time for me to find some mentors. I didn't write every day. I just really didn't write at all. Okay, and I didn't actually know what professional development would be because I actually didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life, and I was only there to impress my parents, and then I dropped out, so I didn't have it. Okay, so let's go back to this question. What are you striving for? Let me give you some examples of what the word strive means according to Wikipedia. Strive means making great efforts to achieve or attain something. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I encourage all of you to do that this year. But there's another definition. It says to struggle or fight vigorously. right? And what I think is interesting about graduate studies is that this definition of striving is the one that is normalized quite often in graduate school, right? Where we're supposed to be ill the entire time, right? We're supposed to be crying at our desk. We're not telling anybody about it, right? We're supposed to be, yeah, you're laughing because you know it's true, right? We're supposed to be doing all these things, right, that impair our wellness as we go through the program. And I find it really interesting, right? Because what is supposed to happen suddenly is the day after we finish graduate studies, we go back to normal, right? But what is that normal when we spend 2 to 6, maybe 10, 11 years not taking care of our wellness, right? And I wonder, right? The other thing that I think is quite interesting is when we think about wellness, we think about concepts of calming down, right? Or like de-stressing, right? Or taking a break. But then I wonder, if our definition of striving then is to make a great effort to achieve or obtain something, how can we do that if we are actively working against our wellness? If we are not actually implementing daily activities that support our wellness so that we can achieve the things that we want to achieve? And therefore, let me introduce you to the Wellness Education Center. So again, I'm the wellness coordinator. I just started in January, so yes, I was doing my PhD while working full-time. Good times. But the nice thing about my job was that I finally had to walk the talk, right? So it was my job to figure out how to have daily habits that support my wellness in order to be successful, in order to thrive, if you will. So let me read the definition of thrive from Wikipedia. Thriving means to prosper or flourish. And here's another one. To grow or develop well or vigorously, right? Let's contrast those two, right? The first one, the striving, was to struggle or fight vigorously, right? Whereas thriving now says to grow or develop well or vigorously. So you still get to be vigorous, but this time you are growing rather than fighting, right? And I like that idea. Now, this is why I want to share this with all of you. And what I really love about this, talking to you all right now, is that this is the place where you graduate. Yeah, right? So you're here, it's your first day of school, and you're already getting comfortable in the place that you're going to walk across the stage when you're done, right? So you get to visualize this through the hard times, right? And so what I'd like to tell you about is how you can support your growth, right, as you thrive through this experience of graduate school. At the Wellness Education Center, we offer you a personalized way to learn about the health and wellness resources available on campus, as well as off campus. What's neat about this is that what I have to offer you is students, just like you and me, who have researched very practical ways to be able to take care of their wellness that goes past just taking a break, right, and relaxing once in a while, the daily practices that actually can enhance our wellness such that we are able to be successful and achieve the goals that we'd like to do in university. What I also do is I also run customized mental health literacy workshops for specific people. So that could be faculty, it could be staff, it could be grad students, right? It could be undergrads. And so if you are looking for somebody to come in and talk about wellness and how to sustain those practices that sustain us through those experiences, I can do that for you too. I'd like you to come see us this year because we're all going to have times in which the thriving thing, right, the growing and developing has now become a fight, or it has now become a struggle. And that is where we can help. But I want to caution you in terms of when to come see us. A lot of the time what we might do is the only time in which we give ourselves permission to seek help is when we have already burned out, right? Because then we know, yeah, something's definitely wrong because I can't get out of bed today, right? But the problem is that we're so exhausted by that point that the simple act of seeking help is now too much for us to be able to bear. And so I ask you to get in touch with us, come see us in the UCC, now, which is a good time, Or when the first sign of something being slightly off happens, because then you have the ability to be able to help yourself and help us help you better when you're still able to do that. Now, if that didn't happen, and it is actually the time where you are really struggling, you can also call us, or you can email us too. And if I think you all have in your package that you got this morning, you do have our website, which gives us our phone number and our email address, and a bunch of other contact information. At the Wellness Education Center, we have student staff who are graduate students as well as undergrads, and we also have me, who remembers what it's like as a grad student because it was last week. Okay, and I'm here to support you, and I'm so excited that you're all here today to listen to these great messages, and I wish you a wonderful year. Welcome to Western.